Santa! Merry Christmas! Get out. And that's how and why I killed Santa Claus. Yeah, that's how I killed him. Hey, please, he was got COVID-19. I checked on him, he was COVID positive. I had to do, what was I supposed to do? My name is Joshua, and welcome to our second channel. Merry Christmas, my babies! My name is Joshua Wonpak, and this is a very special episode, Christmas episode of my series lectures. Yeah, I stole this hat from Santa, so basically there's no bit of a blood trace on this. I'm pretty much cool here. Anyways, I love Christmas, not only because I'm a Christian, but it's because I just love that feeling of that Christmas spirit. So tell me, what creates that Christmas spirit? Okay, so first of all, we got snow. Why it's hot? It's so fucking hot! And we got hot cocoa. Some of our Christmas songs. And what else? Ah, yes. A tree with ornaments. Well, I don't know if you guys knew about this, but even in classical music have ornaments. So ladies and gentlemen, this beautiful music needs a bit of decoration. So the question is, what kind of decoration are there in music? Jewelries, earrings, watches, glasses. Men and women have these accessories because they need it for decoration. But of course, if you put too much decoration all over your body, your whole body's gonna be nothing but sparkle. Why are you too bright? I can't see you too bright. I only can see your amazing jewelries. I mean, sometimes wearing nothing can be better than wearing something. Of course, you want to look good without jewelry as well. So let's list all the ornaments and embellishments for classical music. Trills, Mordents, Arpeggiation, turn, and grace notes. But there are two or more different kinds of grace notes. But at the moment, I'm going to be talking about two types of grace notes. Acciaccatura and Appoggiatura. If you look at the music with this tiny note on this music notation, you'll be like, what the shit is this? Ladies and gentlemen, this is called the grace note. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. There are two kinds of grace notes that we commonly have to remember, Acciaccatura and Appoggiatura. If I was simply explaining you the difference between these two babies, the Appoggiatura is emphasizing that tiny note and the Acciaccatura emphasize that big ass note. So then, how do you perform this complicated crap? Well, let's start with an Appoggiatura. I have two questions to pianists or classical music lovers out there. First question, have you ever played a piece Alla Turca by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart? Then if your answer is yes, then the music score that you're using look like this or this. Well, my friends, this is an unoriginal notation, and this is an original notation. Now, the original music scores are usually called, or not usually, they're supposed to be called the text. Now, if you want more explanation about what the text is, then I'm going to be making an episode about that later, so please subscribe to my channel, then you will get an episode about text. But I really ask you to use the original text because I'm all about the originality. So find the real original score where it has that original ornamentation in there. However, you must perform it like this. I didn't say that score was incorrect. I said that this is not the original. You're supposed to perform like this, but the score has to look like this. Because this is called the Appoggiatura. Yep, the Appoggiatura. The Appoggiatura is when you play the regular rhythm like the crotchet quaver or semiquaver or whatsoever, like this. The word is Italian and is originated from the word appoggiare, I think that's how you pronounce it, which means to lean on. Now always remember that this Appoggiatura, the grace note performs on the main beat, aka the main pulse, aka the downbeat. The downbeat. The downbeat. The downbeat. So here's another example of a music with a bar that has appoggiaturas. So this is just a general idea of how you perform an appoggiatura. This is how it is notated, but this is how you are performing in this notation. You are the mean one, Mr. Grinch. So now an acciaccatura is kind of the same thing as the appoggiatura, but it has a little slash on the note. Usually and commonly the acciaccatura uses the quaver and a slash on it, and it pretty much tells you to perform that note really f***ing fast. Yeah, so when you see pieces like this, it sounds like this. Now there are some grace notes where sometimes it can have more than one note, so it would look like this. Now a trill. What is a trill? This is a trill. That's a trill. Is that the word for shake? I usually call this trill as, when I'm teaching to young kids, the tickle. Because it is like tickling a keyboard, but it's a different case when you're doing it on a string instrument. But the question to trilling is, do you start from up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, or down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up? Do you begin on the up or do you begin on the down? Well, that's a great question. So the answer is it depends on the composer and the period where this piece was composed. The word period is what I meant by which year to which year this piece was composed. Is it a 17th century music, 18th century music, 19th century music, or 20th century music? Which era was this composition even been written in the first place? When the composition was composed in the Baroque and the Classical period, normally the first note begins on the top note. However, the trills from the 19th and onwards period, they commonly use the bottom note first. So meaning that it starts on the note. However, there is something a bit similar as a trill, but it's completely different and it has a different name too. It's a shorter tickle. That is called a mordent. But there's two kinds of mordent. Upper mordent and lower mordent. So if we just call it the mordent, normally it's the one that is an upper mordent. The only difference between an upper mordent and a lower mordent is that the mordent is just a mordent and the lower mordent has a little line across to the middle. So the question is, how many notes do you play in a mordent? Yeah, that's it. Just go down, up, down, or up, down, up for the lower mordent. Now, what is a turn? Well, that's a very sexy ornament because it kind of gives you that bit of a slide. But the way you perform the turn is that you start the note higher than the actual note, and then go down, then up, and land onto the next note. Now, arpeggiation. Now, have you ever seen a harp before? When you see that squiggly line next to that chord, it means you have to play it as arpeggiation. Meaning that you have to break them all apart. Now this is a very sexy notation because it employs you to spread your legs. I mean, it employs you to spread all the notes. Ah, shit. Now if you put trills, arpeggios, mordents, acciaccaturas, appoggiaturas, etc., all together, it'll sound like this. So now we are going to review all the ornaments that we have learned today. Do you agree with my lecture? If you disagree or if you have any other topics that you want me to talk about, leave the comment down below. And I'll see you in the next lecture. My name is Joshua One Pocket, and as always, Merry Christmas. Bye-bye! Da 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 dum, da 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 dum, ba dum bum bum.